Good evening, salam and namaste, Seattle Desi TV viewers. Once again, I'm Robinson with you here at the sets of Trailblazers. This is our brand new segment in which we invite one of the local celebrities and we interview them and we tell you all about their life story, their struggles, and how they got to where they are right now. This is gonna be one interesting episode because today I have with me someone who's very, very amazing, kind, knowledgeable, well educated, sophisticated, and beautiful as well. And I'm not talking about anyone else other than Dr. Vasudha Sharma. She's here sitting with me in the studios today. I would like to tell you a little bit about her, and after that, I'll let her talk about her life and I'll ask her questions about all her achievements in life. I'm actually one of her biggest fans here in Seattle, and let's not delay. I will introduce you to Dr. Vasudha Sharma, who is the founder of Voice of Planet. They're known to be doing a lot of work in the community, and let's start by asking her the first question. Hello, Dr. Vasudha, कैसी हैं आप?
Hi Robinson, and thank you so much for your kind introduction. I am so delighted to be here.
Well, I'm very, very honored to be interviewing you today. My first question to you is, since of course everyone in Seattle living, they know that we are friends, but it's a coincidence that I never asked you about your early life, you being a kid, you being a little girl. When I was preparing your questionnaire, I did cross my mind the question that if you were a mischievous kid or were you always serious, because I know everyone cannot get PhD done. You have done your PhD by the grace of God. And so were you always a deep thinker as a kid as well, or were you just a regular kid?
Oh, I thank you, Robinson. I think you have kind of surprised me with this question because yes, it has been a while. We have never gotten a chance to discuss my childhood.
Correct.
And to be very honest with you, I grew up in a very, very loving household. My mother was always working, and my dad actually was more involved in my upbringing. My dad, worked at school, and I was, since going to school at a young age. My timing and my dad timing was very similar. When I used to get home, I have very fond memories of spending a lot of time with my dad and then weekends with my mom. Of course, every child is somewhat mischievous, but, I would say I topped the mischief all the time. Even, I just went to India last month, and when I visit my extended family, all they talk about is the crazy stuff I've done as a little girl. And,
Well, so I guess I was about to open
a can of worms. I'll give you an example. My grandmother, so my maternal grandmother, she told me that, makeup is very bad and never, ever, ever use makeup. And I said, okay, fine. So I got a mischief in my head. So one night she was sleeping, so me and my cousin, we put a lot of makeup on her face. And, in the morning.
And woke her up.
And woke her up, and she was literally going berserk on us. I just told you applied the whole makeup on him. So we were crazy. We used to do the opposite, the reverse psychology.
Correct.
That's the kind I was, and you can call me a little rebel. But I think it was all for good because I believed in living my life to the fullest, and I believed in not being afraid of doing what I feel that it should be done. So experimenting, trying to break the mold. So I was like that since the very beginning. And I thank my father especially for giving me that amount of encouragement, love and support, and believing in my madness.
Talking about being a rebel, I think a rebel, I look at it in a different way. I think a rebel could be positive too, otherwise we would have never gotten our independence. If we wouldn't have become rebels,
Well, there are rebels without cause too. So,
Correct.
so
Correct.
I think
Correct.
yes, it's being rebellious is not necessarily bad, but you have to do it for the right reason. You have to definitely understand the bigger picture. Every action we do has an impact in the world. So we have to share the space, and we have to understand that in this world, the only thing which can work with all the other things we are trying to do is compassion. So even with that side, I never lost the compassion side in me, and I think that's one of the reasons I feel the balance inside. I feel that it keeps me very motivated and spirited, and it definitely helped me make a lot of beautiful friends like yourself.
Thank you, thank you. That's a huge compliment by such a pretty lady. So my next question, I would like to know, since I don't believe, even us as friends, I never touched that topic with you two. How did you do your early education in India? And also I forgot to, forgive me for that, I forgot to ask what city you grew up in and were raised in. And how many siblings do you have?
Oh,
Do you have any
yes.
siblings living in
Yes.
Seattle or USA?
I wish there was siblings around here, but I have just one brother who is my sibling. He lives in India, and I've been raised in Delhi. My paternal background is from Haryana, and my upbringing, my whole childhood has been in Delhi. So I'm a Delhi girl. So
That's awesome.
yeah, and I really feel very fortunate because I went to one of the best schools in India, Montfort School. I've been there for 13 years, and
Wow.
it's the most reputed school in India. I made tons of friends while I was being raised. The consistency my family provided me in education, in foundation, in giving me the right culture at home. I think all that has played a very, very big role in doing the right thing for me. I also have, my husband actually, he's also from Delhi. So I feel very blessed that, when I go there, we have such a huge family, my husband's side, my own families. So, at a given time, there must be 50 people sitting in my home because, we have beautiful families who all live very near, and, it's like a big, big community over there for me. So for me, Seattle is definitely my home right now. But when I go to Delhi, it's like it's a home which I never left.
Awesome. I do know your husband really well by now, and I do have a question later about him as well. It's a funny question. I'm sure
Yeah.
you'll enjoy it. But before that, I wanted to get into your career because you chose to become a physical therapist first, and then later you came to United States, and then you went to college again and did your PhD. And because my very own three of my brother-in-laws, they have their PhD, and I know I'll tell to the viewers in Urdu, they say lohe ke chane chamane ke barabar hota hai PhD karna. So how did you cross that bridge?
See, I'll tell you, I think doing physical therapy was actually not my first choice. I really wanted to, ever since, like from a very young age, I was in literature. I loved reading, I loved writing, I was very passionate about language.
That's beautiful.
So I loved it, and I couldn't sing beautifully like you, I couldn't dance amazing like other girls, but I definitely loved reading and writing. And that part was always there, but in most Desi families, there are only two options: either you can be a doctor or you can be an engineer. So,
In other words, we can say that you were always a deep thinker, a philosopher.
very much. And I used to write poetry. I have written a lot of poetry. I used to love reading other poets, and I used to love all those things related to literature. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to pursue it in my early life, but I never gave up. I continued to write and read throughout, even till date I do that. Physical therapy actually happened because one of my, uncles was suffering from a deep back issue, pain issue, and
Due to an accident?
It was a chronic condition, and because of that, he had to stay with us in our house in Delhi, and my father took care of him, and took him to a therapist, and we saw a big difference in his life, and my dad was very inspired by that, and my dad was really trying to introduce that to me. My dad said, with your personality, Vasudha, you're
A
funny.
kind person.
Yeah,
I know
you're
for sure.
funny at the same time, you bring so much joy to people, and this is a kind of work, where it will definitely make a huge difference in everybody's life if
True.
you take it forward. This profession needs you. And that time it was not a very well-known profession.
Correct. Especially for girls.
For girls.
I agree.
So little I knew that I won't even be there. I have to move to US. At that time I didn't know. So I was like, my father was trying to introduce that idea to me that, this is definitely the right thing for you. And I got an admission at a good college in Dehradun, and, we had some other choices, but my dad really, was trying to make sure that if that works for me, it would be good. And I always trusted my dad, always. So I took up his advice, and, I did that for, it was a 4.5 years course over there. Then I did my internship in Apollo. And to be very, very honest and truthful, initially I didn't think it was for me, but I just still did. Like even today I saw patients, and the huge difference I make in their life, and the huge demand of this profession. That's why when I came to US, I decided to do my doctorate here. I was like, I can't give it up. If I'm physical therapist today, this will be my entire thing. Like I
Or
have
it
to.
could go obsolete.
Yeah, I cannot give it up. Like, even I can do a million things and I can still be a physical therapist. So that's the beauty of it. So and the healing part, especially, so I really love to treat conditions which are so chronic. My patients have ranged from people who have, issues related to their spine, people who could barely stand up and walk, and we have made them walk, and we have seen the, difference we have made, the impact we have made in their lives. I feel it's just very humiliating for me to consider that I make a difference, because, I don't think I am that big, but I am humbled by the whole thought of trying to do something which could give that joy to a person, where they can take few steps, or where they can have a control of their life in a better way.
Correct. I would add to that, my mother always used to say, what we give to the universe comes back to us.
Exactly.
So maybe, not just trying to give you a compliment, but since I have witnessed your blessings, maybe you talking about that, helping people and trying to make a difference in the society, in this world, here in US again. I know you're actively working as a physical therapist as well, along with the other activities that you're actively involved in. I am a witness that your life is very, very blessed. And sometimes, maybe secretly, though I am your friend, I'm not your frenemy, but sometimes it is one of my questions. I do wonder that how do you wear so many hats and you can still juggle everything so perfectly?
Absolutely. And I
It's
think
tough.
it's tough, it is tough, but if you love what you do, you find time to do it. So as I said, like today, in one day, I started my day from being a mom. I woke my children up, I gave them what they needed, and then I left for work. I saw my patients, then, I went to the preschool we run. And then, I'm hosting an event on Sunday. I had to do a couple of things for that, and then I made another stop, and now I'm here with you. So it's all in a day, and everything fell in place. And one of the reasons is because I enjoy doing all of these things. Nothing here feels
It
like
comes straight from the heart.
it comes, and it's so natural. It's not even. It becomes like the back of your hand. You know it, and I do realize that sometimes our roles are switched so quickly, but I'll say one thing, as a woman, it's easy because that's the kind of flexibility nature has given us, and then the other thing is that
To nurture.
the nurture part of it, and the passion. The passion I carry, I'm a passionate person. You cannot make me do anything without passion.
Correct.
So everything which I have been doing has been something which comes from inside, and I enjoy it.
So my next question for you is, I know that uh, a very, very important two parts of your life, other than, of course, your wonderful family, your husband, your two kids. Voice of Planet came into the scene how many years before, and what inspired you to start this charity, this NGO? And other thing that I wanted to ask you about was Vasudha Sharma Productions, sorry. And how did this all start? And did someone become an inspiration for you, or was it always on your mind that I think I can do this too, I think I can achieve? Because I know you're multi-talented, I have no doubt about it. But I was curious to know what sparked all that, especially these two amazing things that are very, very close to your heart.
I honestly feel that some of it is just who I am, and some of it is how things shape as you meet, inspiration you get. So it's a combination of things. It's not just one thing I can point to. Voice of Planet actually began at the right time in my life, because initially when I came to US in 2004, and my initial years in US were really hard. That's why I have even an original book about it. That's
Would you like to, sorry to interrupt you, would you like to mention, just for my viewers, what is the name of the book?
Yeah, the name of the book is Why She Must Lead, and the reason I wrote that book is because, I wanted to write a book from a perspective of, there was a lot of noise about women in leadership position, and I wanted to understand, because, coming from a family where my mother has been working all her life, and she has been a leader in her industry, and so I wanted to understand, if a woman becomes a leader, is everything she's getting what she wanted for, what she aimed for, or is it something which has made her life harder? What is it? What is this noise about? And what is happening?
Correct, like wanting to do something and then being like one of those guinea pigs just running inside the wheel.
Yes, so there was a lot of noise world is ready for women leaders, or the world is ready for the first president, female president. A lot of noise, but is the leadership ready for women? That was my question. Is the presidency seat ready for a woman?
Correct.
So,
I was about to say that.
Yeah, so that was my question, that, these places where there is a lot of noise, have to understand the perspective from both sides, and have to understand that people who actually aimed and even got there, what their feelings were once they reached their destination. Were they all happy? Were things really fell in place for them? Were things could have been better? Did things did work out for them? Because what is the point of being on a journey where you reach and you find that you're in the wrong place?
Absolutely.
So that was my
very well said.
Yes, so that was my whole reason to write the book, and I took perspective of a lot of leaders who were around me in Washington State, and a lot of leaders, women, they spoke to me, they shared their perspectives. I put it in a book, and I shared my own journey in a book, that, how I felt during my course of struggle and trying to eventually, when I ran multiple clinics as director here, and I have been, I've been on the corner office too. So
you've been working with City of Renton.
Yes, and I have worked with governments, organizations, grassroots. I've done that. So I wanted to weigh in all that and write it in a book, and give it a more analytical approach, where people are looking at things from a more balanced view versus, more of a view what needs to be done.
Just being part of the crowd.
Yes, yeah. So that was the whole thought behind the book. The book did well, actually. When I released the book, it was my COVID time book, because during the COVID time, I was seeing tons of patients. I used to leave my home, because we were the essential workers and people dependent on us. I used to see 10 to 12 patients a day, and at that time I was seeing patients in their home, because nobody was leaving home, so I was actually traveling to everybody's home. And I remember I didn't even have a face mask, so I had to make my own face mask at home, and it was made out of cloth. So I've done all that. I've done all the hard part of my job, but the good thing is there was no traffic at that time. So I had some time in hand when I used to come, and my family was not eager to see me at all because I was with patients all day. They used to give me a separate room because we had to maintain some quarantine, and my kids were little. So I had time at my hand where I could sit and reflect. So I wrote the book during that time, and I wanted to actually do a good job with it. So it went well. And right before COVID, actually in 2019, what was happening was that I realized I've been doing a lot of work in the community, but there is no method to my madness. Like, I've been just all over the place doing so many things. But when people ask me, what have you been doing? I'm like, I was there, I had to put it all in a way it makes more.
There's a platform.
There's a platform, there is structure to it, there is more, a way for me to also follow and use the resource which I've created along the way. So at that time, my thought was to register for a non-profit, which for the kind of work I've been already doing for a long time. So the Voice of Planet, the reason I chose the name Voice of Planet is because, of course, I'm from a Desi background, and I was thinking of doing something on a similar line. But then I realized I live in the US. In a day, I don't meet all Desi people. I meet people from every background. I meet people from, all walks of life. How can I restrict myself? If I have a resource and if somebody needs it, I'm not gonna, isolate it. So
You want it to be more like a freshwater stream.
I wanted to be more like, a person who is there for the community, no matter who they are, what they do. And that's why we chose Voice of Planet, because we wanted to make sure that, first of all, people who feel underrepresented and invisible, they feel like they have a place to go. And the secondly is that we don't want to isolate to a given set of people, we want to be there for everybody. So Voice of Planet was put together with that thought that we will be there for everyone, no matter what their background is, what ethnicity they belong to. But at the same time, we want to make sure our beautiful culture and heritage we can share with others as well.
Correct.
So the organization which was formed had 5 pillars, in our vision. The first pillar we, of course, have is, humanity. We want to do things where we are serving humanity. We want to make sure all the shelters around us have all the supplies all the time. They're not running out. In cold weather, they have everything they need. All the people who are in a humanitarian needs, if we are able to do something for them.
See, I am pretty close friend of yours, and see, even I did not know. I would like to focus on it because there's a lot of people out there. I know a lot of people. I'm talking to all the viewers. Sometimes they are thinking who to give, or where should I go, who should I help. And so maybe this is a chance through this interview, if you would ever like to help Voice of Planet, because they're helping with food banks as well, if I'm correct.
We help with food banks, we help with a lot of shelter giving. So yeah, we have, even this Sunday we have a drive for refugee people. So we try
that's impressive.
we try to definitely not only do these humanitarian drives throughout the year. We want to make sure we reach out before people have a need, so we want to extend our hand more.
Yeah.
So
Before they start.
So my goal is always that all the local shelters, they are always, I am on their speed dial. If they're running out of anything, they call me, and we do the needful. We try to fundraise for them. We try to provide them as much as we can, as a community. Food banks especially.
I'd also like to ask, since we are on this page, I'd like to continue a little bit on this one. I know that you're helping people in India as well. Would you like to talk about that as
Yeah,
well?
absolutely. So that's why I was like trying to explain the four pillars. The humanitarian pillar is not just here, it's beyond here.
Correct.
So like we did the blanket drive in January because it was really like the temperature was atrocious, and unfortunately people don't have, they have very limited means sometimes. So we did a blanket drive in two cities. One was Lucknow, one was Varanasi, and I visited the city Varanasi in January as well. So the blanket drive was done to help people there, and we are actually fully like legally certified in India to do our operations there. We have a good team who takes care of all the resources in a right way. So
So basically, Voice of Planet is registered in two different cities in the world for now.
Yes,
And I
yeah.
pray to God that you expand.
yeah,
But
yeah.
Seattle and then New Delhi.
Yeah, so we are actually fully like certified in India to operate. So and we have a full team there. We have a CA, we have a legal team to take care of all our operations there. So we I feel very good about our work which is going on. Our second pillar is health. We do a lot of health camps. Um, we have done blood donation camps. And since my background is from healthcare, there's a lot of like contributions I try to make from my background as well to contribute to general wellness wherever we can through either health talks or arranging for checkups and all where it's needed. The third pillar is heritage. Heritage is very special to my heart because, as I said, my goal was not only to mingle with other cultures but also promote my own. So, because we come from a very rich cultural background, so I try.
Definitely agree to that.
Yes. So we try to celebrate a lot of festivals which we grew up celebrating. Like, for example, Holi is coming on March 15, and I'm so proud that this year we are going to get a proclamation on Holi because it's such a beautiful festival. We shared it with the entire community. The city of Renton loved it so much that they they want to give a proclamation about how beautiful that.
I'm already very, very proud.
It's so amazing, and we have Parks and Recreation partner with us, and one of the reasons we were able to do it is because we really believed in our vision. We wanted to open it to the community for everybody. It's not just for certain group of people. Yeah, so it's just for everybody. So that's why we did it in partnership with Parks and Recreation, and we opened our arms to the whole city, and they had such an amazing time last year. They can't wait to come back again. So if you are watching this interview before March 15th, please do come and stop by on March 15 in Renton in Liberty Park. We are going to have an amazing, amazing time, and Robbie is going to host there as well. So, so please do catch him.
Yes, there's another thing. I know that your background is very, very educational. Not to mention that, I would love to mention, I would love to mention again that you have your PhD as well. Would you be open all the Indian or other Pakistani, Afghani community coming to Seattle, and sometimes the parents, they do not have sufficient education and they don't have a clue where to go and what to do with their kids. And so I wanted to ask you this question: if the viewers, if anyone among my viewers, if they were to ever contact you, would you or the team members, would they be open to help them?
Absolutely. So we have a beautiful thing going on called Voice of Youth. It's a youth wing, and that is meant for parents who are looking for more resources or more support in our community,
Wow.
Especially if they are new to the city or country.
I'm glad I asked you that question.
Yeah, no, thank you for asking actually, because Voice of Youth, actually we started last year, early last year in January, to have those, regular meetups for youth, and it just blossomed. It's a very beautiful segment of Voice of Planet. And through Voice of Youth, I do host a lot of meetups, I do host a lot of motivational talks, and we do host a lot of workshops for youth where they can come and take advantage of important information. My son is currently in high school, and I know that it has helped a lot of his friends to get those important volunteer hours, to, we are PBSS certified, we have the Presidential Voluntary Medal certification. So we try to definitely make sure that we not only encourage and inspire the youth, but at the same time we give them a platform and a place where they feel like there's a resource to reach, especially if they are looking for people with some similar backgrounds.
One extra thing, sorry, I'm still on that same page, because sometimes it bugs me that children with autism, their parents, they are really, really struggling. I do know a few families. And so in the youth wing, do you think that there's a member over there who could help those parents as well?
See, and again, that's why I brought up our pillars, the health pillars. So me being from healthcare industry, I
Right.
have tons of connections, tons of people who are, within my reach. If I need to get some kind of a special advice for somebody who, is looking for an extra support or information, like, I am not a mental health therapist, but I am called
Correct.
often by, many organizations to give a talk on suicide prevention, and I have done that. So sometimes we have to step up for our community, and we want to make sure that we, are able to
Think outside the box.
Yeah, we are able to give them the kind of resource they are looking for, and we may not be the exact person they are looking for, but we can be a facilitator in the communication. And absolutely, we have done that for
That's
people who are
amazing.
in the need. Yeah.
That's amazing. So now comes my funny question. So since I know you're amazing, very handsome, gentleman, husband, I'm a big fan as well. He has an amazing personality. Just like they always say that behind every man every I would rephrase it, behind every successful man there is a woman. Do you think in your case could we say that behind this gorgeous, most successful, beautiful lady there is a man?
There are several men actually. My dad.
That's
to
awesome.
begin-
I'm actually very happy because where you are today, sometimes people forget who helped them.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that
Yeah.
you said that it's not just one person, but there are many people.
There are, and not only men, there are women too. My dad especially, I can never ever thank him enough for giving me some sort of an understanding towards how to live life. And
Wow.
he has been such a beacon. Whenever if I get in a point in my life where I don't know what to do, I just what would my dad do? I just think like him, and it helps me. So I think definitely to begin with, I want to thank him a lot.
Do you need water?
No, I'm good. So
I know
see
it's
how attached I am
it's a
to
little
him.
touchy question.
It's a
I
touchy
know.
question. I'm very, very attached to him. So, but him definitely, and of course my husband. I guess God knew that I'm gonna come to US, and I needed somebody who can take a role of my father, who can take a role of my partner.
I've seen it happening.
Yeah.
But I wanted the viewers to know that a successful and a busy woman like you, that there is a possibility if the communication is correct, and there are other women they can step up too. And
I'll tell you honestly, communication is a really funny thing you said, because I would not think that me and my husband has the best communication, but somehow we click. I don't know. I mean, it's just grace of God. Because that's one argument we have every day. We need to communicate better. So.
well, that was actually my next question. That staying so busy, and so how do you balance your family life? Because I know you have to. One of your son, he is teenager now.
He's in high school, and
He's
the
in high
second one
school.
is in middle school. Yeah.
Correct. And how do you balance for your personal life at home?
I think it all falls in place because see, family is an institution. Family, if we look at family as work, it's not work, it's an institution. Family is there to generate things which you aim for if you align it properly. And there are institutions which fail, there are institutions which work. The only way a family institution would work or a marriage institution would work is that, first of all, you have to understand that there is no I in this whole concept. Because the more you become selfless with your family, the easier things get for you. And that's my feeling, that's what has made it work. Because, if in my busy day my son is calling me and if he needs my attention, he's my, priority. He's my priority. And, he knows that mom, I'm the priority for her. Same, for all of us. So we have that concept in our mind. So we are very good in our skin. We are not like fighting for attention. We know at the back of our, heart that we are there. So, like today I'm sitting here, but I have such a, I would say, comfort in my thought that my husband is there with my kids at home.
And that's a very, very big satisfaction.
It is.
Comes from him.
That is.
I've seen him.
Yeah.
I mean, of course you're the mother, but then I've seen him how he tries to balance your life, and which is amazing. It's phenomenal.
Exactly. So once you're able to give each other that comfort, that only can come if you make other person a priority. So, and I think that's what has worked for all of us, even for my kids. We just had a beautiful vacation in San Diego, and my kids know, my kids will not hesitate to even ask me difficult questions, and I feel good about it. I feel like I must have done something right to raise them.
Yeah, and I'm sure other than being their mother, I think they're old enough by now, even the younger one, to understand that mommy is trying to make a difference in the society, and for which I'm 200% sure they respect you for that.
And they're not struggling for attention. That's the beauty, because they know that whatever may happen, if we need her, we are her priority. So I think that's why everything works so beautifully, because nobody's fighting for attention. Everybody knows what it is. Everybody's on the same page, and everybody's happy with each other. So that works.
That's amazing. I would like you to say something to the viewers, and not necessarily just the women out there, but maybe you do have a message, just like how amazing husband you have, and he is very, very supportive, how your father is, and how he was when you were very young, and how he molded your life basically. Is there a piece of advice specifically for men out there, and specifically for women out there, so you could be an inspiration for our viewers as well?
See, it's a give and take. I totally believe nowadays women have more on their plate than they ever used to have. Of course, there are a lot of expectations associated with the role. The gender roles are still there. They are not going to go away.
And a very, very fast-paced life.
Yeah, they're still there. I would not say they are gone. They may have faded somewhat, but they are there. And of course, beyond that, women are doing everything else. So it's a give and take. We have to really go in a way that we need to give grace to each other. We need to understand each other a little bit better. And again, I go back to my point of your previous question. In family, be more selfless. The more selfless you get, the easier it's going to be, because otherwise it becomes a constant power struggle, and that's not what any relationship should be. If it becomes to that, then it's a business then. So you have to understand that when it comes to family or a relationship between a man or a woman as a family, it has to, you have to take that thought in your head. You have to give priority to others. You have to give that kind of thought to others. If that happens, everything will be naturally, and so look at your spouse or look at your husband, and even for a man to look at his wife in a way that, to take his own self out and look at the person as what they would be happy with is more, that I think that's a very valuable thought.
Very well said, because my mother, she always used to say that if you truly want to know how the other person would think after how you have treated them, not necessarily in a bad way, but sometimes even we are thinking that we're trying to do something good for the other person, but it ends up being something else.
Yes.
And so I'm glad that you
Yeah.
said that, because my mom always used to say that you always need to put yourself, if you want a clear and very like true answer to anything, you have to put yourself in other people's shoes.
It has to be. You have to be empathetic. And it sounds like orthodox thought sometimes, because nowadays we are constantly hearing self-validation all the time. But in a relationship, there has to be give and take. There cannot be give, or
Correct.
take. So you have to understand that and give space to others. So I think that's important.
Right. My next question and my last question is that where do you see yourself in next 10 years? And just like, I know that you always just laugh. You never said yes or no to me. So I was like, I think this is my chance for her to give me an answer. Would you ever go into politics?
I'll tell you the truth today. I have always felt very inspired by women in politics. I felt like they are truly not represented very well. And I have been very inspired by women. We recently had a CM in Delhi, newly elected CM in Delhi, and very inspiring, the fourth women CM. So I feel there is definitely a time and place for that. For me, I do see myself in a role where I can try to make that positive impact I've been always trying to.
And you could be the voice for many other
For
women.
many. So yeah, if the circumstances are right, and if I have if I am able to take the step, I would definitely take it. But at the same
I'll
time,
definitely vote for you.
thank you so much. But yeah, at the same time, I believe in having an agenda. I don't want to be there just to create noise. I want to be there for the right reason. I want to be there to bring the right change. And at this point, definitely I would say it's on the table for me.
My next question to you is about Vasudha Sharma Productions. I know that you've been, ever since last year, if I'm correct, you've been very, very active with the concerts and many other things coming to Seattle. You're trying your level best to make it as amazing as you could. My viewers would like to know about Vasudha Sharma Productions as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you shared that, because it has been a very passionate project of mine. Last year we launched the Vasudha Sharma production because I got the opportunity to partner for Shreya Ghoshal show, and it was a huge success. We had 6,000 people attend, and hosting such a big celebrity was a dream come true for me. It encouraged and inspired me to be involved in more projects. Later I got a chance to, be the partner in the Portland for Kumar Sanu Sadhna Sargam with another well-known event management, entertainment, Jalsa. So it definitely went very well doing all these concerts. The vision for the Vasudha Sharma production is to keep bringing the amazing artists, also the new talent, and provide platform, and also to be able to host web series and talk shows. So there is more in store for us. And this year it's going to be an amazing year. Don't forget to join us May 10th, Sunidhi Chauhan, and September 12th, a big surprise. So I hope
Amazing, can't wait.
Yes, please join. Thank you.
Thank you. Alright, once again, Seattle Desi TV viewers, I hope that you enjoyed this interview, and not just enjoyed, but then there was so much to learn from this amazing lady's life and life back in India, and then coming to US, and then seeing the struggle but never giving up. Also, I would like to say a big thanks to Mr. George Varghese. We are at the Spotlight, and he allows us to host these amazing segments in his studio, which is an amazing studio. I would like to thank Seattle Desi TV in the end for all this amazing work that they are doing and putting together all these amazing segments and cooking shows and many more to come. So thanks to all the founders of Seattle Desi TV, and once again we'll come back with more amazing segments. Have a good night.
जाने के जहाँ